Now please welcome VRLA co-founder Cosmo Scharf.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to VRLA. We have a really phenomenal show for you today. There are so many incredible people here, it blows my mind. Over 130 exhibitors and sponsors have shown up just for you to show what they've been working so hard on, and it's their overwhelming creativity that makes this event so special. We have motion simulators, VR arcades, giant 360 video domes, VR tricycles, flying machines, and even the Nest Quick Bunny. We partnered with Skull Candy, The Wave, Subpack, 3D Live, and WeLens to produce the world's first VR rave. This show is crazy bananas, and I think all the exhibitors deserve a massive round of applause. Come on. We've been really busy. We recently launched VRLA School, our monthly series of educational workshops and speaker sessions, and it's been a huge success. We recently also announced that submissions for the Proto Awards, our third annual award show for VR content, closed in about 4 days on August 10th. So if you're a VR content creator, you don't want to miss out. We have so many other exciting events planned for 2017, like the next VRLA on March 24th and 25th. We are truly firing on all cylinders. This is a really big day for us. Nearly 6,000 people have flown in from around the world to come here, making this the biggest event we've ever had by far. In fact, attendance has grown 40x since our first event just 2.5 years ago. And that's due in large part to the incredible VRLA team, John, Johnny, Adam, Jess, James, Kate, Christian, and Arvia, our staff and volunteers, and all of the various groups of people that make today possible. So please give them all a huge round of applause. Thank you. Of course, I have to thank our marquee sponsor, Radeon Technologies Group, our official audio partner, Skull Candy, and all of our other awesome sponsors. So I know your hands are probably a little tired, but I think they all deserve one final round of applause. Thank you. Now, most of you are here because you believe VR is the future. And since we last met in January, both the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive launched as consumer products, with PlayStation VR coming out in just a few months. And now that the first generation of consumer VR has arrived, we have a new tool to better understand the way that we relate to each other, to ourselves, and to the rest of the world. VR isn't going to solve all of our problems, but can be used to create positive change. VR has had a dramatic and positive effect on my life, and it's led me to research all sorts of related topics like consciousness, perception, and the very fabric of reality itself. Things you should never mention on a first date. Oops. My research has led me to explore concepts from people like the ethnobotanist, Terence McKenna, and the philosopher, Alan Watts. And I like to share with you how their concepts, their ideas, might strengthen the possibility that VR could ultimately help dissolve boundaries between people and reveal the illusion of separation. Terence McKenna wrote about how this illusion is very difficult to perceive because it is so deeply and unconsciously embedded within our culture and language. He wrote about how from a very early age, our cultures teach us to abstract our authentic perceptions of reality with symbolic representations. And while symbols are an important kind of social convenience, they become problematic, he said, when they obscure the actual reality they're supposed to represent. So, to give an example of this, he wrote, "Imagine an infant lying in its cradle, and into the room comes something marvelous, mysterious, glittering, and the child is enthralled. And then the mother comes into the room and says to the child, 'That's a bird, baby. That's a bird.' Instantly, the complex, transformative wave of this bird is collapsed into the word. All mystery is gone. The child learns this is a bird, this is a bird. And by the time we're 5 or 6 years old, all the mystery of reality has been carefully tiled over with words. This is a bird. This is a house. This is the sky. And we seal ourselves in within a linguistic shell of disempowered perception. It's this idea that our obsession with labeling and over-intellectualizing our reality creates a fundamentally distorted perspective of the world that compromises our ability to fully appreciate the present moment. And while the past and the future can sometimes feel very real, they only exist within the present. And I wonder if our ability to travel through time in our minds, the gift and curse of human memory and imagination, creates a false sense of identity rooted in the past and the future. I know this is super heady, but is it possible that the life narratives we write in our heads every day about who we think we are creates a rigid sense of identity that further reinforces the illusion of separation? Is it possible that some of our greatest social, economic, and environmental issues stem from the severing of our connection between the self and nature, the inner from the outer? Well, Alan Watts tells us that the concepts of inside and outside are actually artificial distinctions and more like two sides of the same coin. He wrote that your skin doesn't separate you from the world. It's a bridge through which the external world flows into you and you flow into it. I think that's a beautiful perspective. He collapses the distinction between the self and everything else out there in nature, suggesting we are, in fact, apertures through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. In this way, it's almost like everything and everyone is merely a reflection of yourself in a different form, like a mirror image of your own mind. And when we consider that the apps we use most on our phones are platforms that connect us to other people, it almost seems like the universe creates technology to better understand itself from multiple perspectives. Anyone who's ever tried Oculus's miraculous toy box demo understands why Zuckerberg believes VR will be the most social platform. Because at the end of the day, VR won't be about the latency or the resolution or the frame rate of our headsets. It'll be about the relationships we form with other people and the magical experiences we share together. Thank you.